Welcome back to the Parenting Lab. Today we are tackling the one thing that turns a peaceful Saturday morning in a cozy Chicago suburb into a high-stress shouting match. I'm talking about the toddler earplug phenomenon. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've said it once. You've said it 5 times. By the 10th time, you're practically screaming, "Put your shoes on!" And only then does your little one even look up. It's exhausting, right? But here is the shocking truth that most parents in the U.S. don't realize. By repeating yourself 10 times, you are actually training your toddler to ignore you. You are teaching them that your first 9 requests are just background noise, like the hum of a refrigerator or the traffic on the 405 in Los Angeles. They've learned that they don't actually have to move until you hit level red or start counting to 3. Did you know that in many European cultures, specifically in places like Denmark or the Netherlands, parents report significantly lower levels of instructional friction? They use a specific set of connection-based techniques that result in children who listen the first time without the need for a drill sergeant tone. Today, we're going to break down the exact science of why your current method is failing and give you a 7-step, gentle protocol to fix it. We aren't just talking about tips. We're talking about a complete behavioral shift that will change the atmosphere of your home within the next 30 days. Let's look at the scary reality of the repetition trap. Recent surveys of American parents show that a staggering 85% of us feel like we have to yell to get results. But here's the kicker. Only 12% of those parents realize that this constant yelling is actually desensitizing their child's nervous system. In high-functioning developmental models used in top-tier preschools in New York City, teachers almost never repeat a command more than twice. Why? Because they know the volume threshold rule. Think about this situation. It's 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. You're in your kitchen, coffee is getting cold, and you've got a Zoom call in 20 minutes. You say, "Oliver, please put your toys away." Oliver stays focused on his bluey figurine. 2 minutes later, "Oliver, I said pick up the toys." Nothing. 5 minutes later, "Oliver, if you don't pick those up right now, no iPad." Still nothing. Finally, you roar his full name. "Oliver James, pick up the toys now!" Suddenly, he jumps. He starts moving. You think, finally, he listened. But what actually happened? Oliver didn't listen. His brain finally recognized a threat signal. You've conditioned him to believe that your calm voice is optional and your angry voice is the only one that carries authority. This creates a cycle where the calm you is invisible and the stressed you is the only version that gets things done. Over time, this erodes the bond of trust and teaches the child that communication is only serious when it's aggressive. This is why this moment is so critical. Between the ages of 2 and 5, your toddler's brain is in a golden window of neuroplasticity. They are literally wiring their social expectations. If you spend these years repeating yourself 10 times, you are wiring their brain to be instruction blind. When they get to kindergarten or first grade, they won't just struggle with you. They'll struggle with teachers, coaches, and peers because they're waiting for that level red signal to take action. Think of it like a broken fire alarm. If the alarm chirps every 5 minutes for no reason, you eventually stop hearing it. You might even take the batteries out. That's what your toddler is doing. They are taking the batteries out of your voice. Research from the Harvard Center on the Developing Child shows that serve and return interaction is the basis of brain architecture. When you yell, you aren't serving, you're attacking. The child's brain moves into fight or flight mode, which actually shuts down the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that handles logic and following instructions. So by yelling, you're making it physically harder for them to actually process what you want them to do. It's a biological catch-22. So what is the exclusive solution? In professional developmental circles, we call it the First-Time Connection Protocol, or FTCP. It's based on the attachment theory of Dr. Gordon Neufeld. The goal isn't compliance, the goal is connection. Because a child who feels connected to you wants to please you. It's not about being a pushover, It's about being a leader. The FTCP has 7 core principles. First, physical proximity. Never, ever shout an instruction from across the house or from the other side of the kitchen island. Second, eye level. You must get down on their level. Third, the gentle touch. A hand on the shoulder or a pat on the knee. Fourth, the check-in. You ask if they heard you. Fifth, the one-statement rule. You say it once, clearly. Sixth, the 5-second wait. You give their brain time to process. And seventh, the natural consequence. Let's compare the wrong way versus the right way. The wrong way. You're standing at the door, bags in hand, yelling, "Let's go, we're going to be late for Target." The toddler thinks, "Mom is making noise again, but my blocks are still interesting." The right way. You walk over to the blocks. You kneel down so your eyes are at the same height as theirs. You put a hand on their arm and wait for them to look at you. You say, "Hey, buddy, I see you're building a big tower. In 1 minute, we need to put on shoes to go to the store." You then ask, "What are we doing in 1 minute?" They repeat it back. Shoes. You've just secured buy-in. This works because of a mechanism called joint attention. When you are both focused on the same thing, the instruction, the brain registers it as a high-priority task. When you yell from another room, you aren't in joint attention. You're just a competing sound source, like the TV or the dishwasher. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry followed 500 families over 3 years. The Group B parents, who practiced these low-volume, high-connection techniques, saw a 64% decrease in oppositional behavior within 6 months. Meanwhile, Group A, the repeaters and yellers, saw a 20% increase in defiance as the children got older. Now let's get into the detailed guide on how to implement this over the next 4 weeks. You can't just flip a switch overnight. Your toddler is used to the old wait until they yell game. We have to retrain them. Week 1, the observation phase. Your goal this week is simply to stop the nag cycle. Your mantra is, if I'm not close enough to touch them, I'm not talking to them. Every time you feel the urge to shout, "Wash your hands," from the living room, catch yourself. Walk to the bathroom. Stand next to them. This is going to be exhausting for you at first. You'll realize you do a lot of drive-by parenting. But by stopping the background noise, you're making your voice valuable again. You might find you're doing this 50 times a day. That's okay. You're becoming aware of the pattern. Week 2, the connection phase. This week, we use the formula get low plus touch plus eye contact. Before you give any instruction, you must have all 3. If they are playing with Play-Doh, get on the floor. Touch their back. Wait for those little eyes to meet yours. If they won't look, say softly, "I'm waiting for your eyes." Once you have them, give the instruction once. It is time for lunch. Then, and this is the hardest part, stay there for 5 seconds. Don't say anything else. Just look at them with a neutral, kind face. Their brain is literally downloading the command. Week 3, the one-time rule. Now we introduce consequences. If you've done the get low and eye contact and they still don't move after the 5-second wait, you move to action. No more, "I'm counting to 3. No more, "I'm serious this time." If the instruction was, "Put the toy away," and they don't, you gently take their hand, put it on the toy, and help them move it. Or if they refuse to walk to the car, you say, "I see you're having a hard time moving your body, so I will help you," and you pick them up. You are teaching them that your words lead directly to an outcome every single time. Week 4, the autonomy shift. By now, they should be looking at you when you walk over. This week, instead of telling them what to do, ask them. "We are leaving in 2 minutes. What do you need to do with your coat?" This shifts the control from you to them. They become the problem solver. If they say, "Put it on," they are much more likely to do it because it was their idea. If they don't answer, revert back to week 3. Let's look at some real-world integration. Imagine it's a rainy afternoon in Seattle. You're at a friend's house and it's time to go. The old way, You're by the door shouting, "Sarah, come on! We have to go! Sarah! Sarah!" The new way. You walk into the playroom, you sit on the rug, you touch Sarah's arm. "Sarah, look at me. In 2 minutes, we are saying goodbye to the kitty and getting in the car. Can you say goodbye, kitty, in 2 minutes?" She nods. You wait. 2 minutes later, you stand up, hold out your hand, and say, "It's time." Because you've already built the connection bridge, she's 10 times more likely to take your hand and walk out without a meltdown. Remember, this is a long game. You are building a relationship based on mutual respect rather than volume-based fear. Research from the University of Virginia shows that children raised with these authoritative but warm boundaries have higher self-esteem and better academic performance 10 years down the line. You aren't just getting them to put on socks, you're teaching them how to communicate. To wrap up, stop being the background noise of your child's life. Stop the 10-time repeat. Start the first-time connection. Week 1, stop shouting from other rooms. Week 2, get low, touch, and get eye contact. Week 3, 1 instruction, then help them follow through. Week 4, use what questions to give them autonomy. You can do this. It takes patience, especially when you're tired after a long day at work, but the payoff, a calm, quiet, cooperative home, is worth every bit of effort. If you found this helpful, please share this episode with another parent who is currently losing their voice from yelling. We're all in this together. See you in the next episode of the Parenting Lab.